Hey everyone, it's been a while, but today I'm going to be reacting to a video that Network Chuck made. So let me just put this back in place. Um, yeah, so this is the video. I bought a DDoS attack on the dark web. Don't do this. If you don't know who Network Chuck is, he's basically a guy with, like if you watch my videos, you're likely to watch his. But he basically makes videos around like I guess networks and cybersecurity stuff or whatever. So yeah, I guess I'll be reacting to this video. Alright, let me check. Yeah, that's recording.
So, I bought a DDoS attack on the dark web. I got on my VPN client, launched my Tor browser, and I got on the dark web. I found the dark web marketplace, I signed up for it, and I found a DDoS attack I could purchase. Now, what is that?
So you went to the dark web to buy a DDoS attack. That is probably not a good idea because you are getting scammed. Um, like if you have to go to the dark web to buy something, it's probably like to buy a script specifically. It's probably a scam, most likely.
It's a distributed denial of service attack, and it's not like regular hacking where I'm trying to gain access to your system, steal your information, make money off you. No. I want to bring you down. I don't want to hack into your website. I want your website to disappear and be inaccessible to.
I like his backdrop though. It's pretty cool studio. I mean, mine is just my bedroom, so I guess I'm limited in that regards.
Everyone. Now, disclaimer, this is for educational purposes only. Never do this to anyone without their permission.
Right, hang on one sec. Okay, there we go.
Ever. But I will show you in this video how to use that denial of service attack. I'll even give you access to it, as long as you promise to only use it on people you have permission to use it on. Like yourself or your friends. Use it on your friends, that'll be fun. Did I mention I also built a botnet, which is kind of crazy. If you don't know what that is, you'll find out. Anyways, let's get into it. Now, the stuff I bought is crazy. Like, let me show you real quick. Here's one of these. It's a tool called Sapphira, and this thing it's scary. It's a Python script, and it's sophisticated. I can watch as I scroll through this thing. I mean, a lot of code, a lot of cool things going on, and I'll show you how to use this. I even built.
So, did you build this yourself, or you got that online?
Which isn't.
Wait, you claim you got that off the dark web. Let's just check. Sapphira GitHub. There's most likely going to be a GitHub link for it. I know just from the title of it. Yeah, Sapphira DDoS tool fixed and ported to Python 3. So you didn't even have to go to the deep web for that.
An army of servers that will attack using this code. All the same.
An army of servers? I hella doubt that. But let's see.
Same time, that's actually called a distributed denial of service attack, or DDoS. But do you know what the scariest part about a DOS attack is? It's crazy easy to do an attack like this. Like, anyone can do it, and you can cause some serious damage. And honestly, you don't even need scary dark web scripts like I have. You don't have to go there. In fact, you shouldn't. Do not go on the dark web. Now, one of the tools you can download and use right now is the low orbit ion cannon. And this thing
the low orbit ion cannon. That brings back so many memories.
is crazy easy to use. Check this out. So I've got my web server here. Works fine. I'm actually pinging it from another server as well, so we can see how healthy it is.
By the way, the low orbit ion cannon is also not a deep web hacking tool. Low orbit ion cannon. Wait, let's just search this up. You can download it from SourceForge. So like last time I checked, SourceForge isn't a deep web hacking website. And you can also check the code on GitHub. And it's not even a DDoS attack, it's a DOS attack. So a distributed denial of service attack is basically when you have multiple servers attacking one IP or sending flood packets or whatever. With low orbit ion cannon, you're only using one machine, so it's a DOS attack. It's not DDoS.
And we know it's healthy when we look at the time it takes to get there. I'm sending a ping, he's responding back, and that's how long it takes. Sub-millisecond. It's on a local LAN, it's perfect. But if we use the ion cannon, check this out.
You know, I actually remember one story. I used the the lower orbit ion cannon back in school. Like I remember when I was like 10 or 11, and I thought I was this like master hacker or whatever. Um, but what's he call it? So there was a guy beside me playing Aguero. So this was like the school IT lab, and when I hit the I'm a charging my laser button, or like the go button, like his Aguero screen just paused and just stopped, and then and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, my teacher RDPs into my desktop. So like she basically just took control of the screen and she xed out of it. So yeah, there goes my hacking creds. I was stopped by the teacher remotely.
Again, you can do this easily. Windows, Mac, Linux, you can get this free tool and mess with your family and friends. So I put in my IP, 10.7.1.50, that's my web server here. I'm gonna lock in. My target's ready, or I'm ready, he's not ready. My method will be UDP. So I'm about to DOS attack myself. Now please, again, don't attack anyone without permission. You can go to jail for this. People have gone to jail for this, so be careful. Anyways, I'm gonna charge.
Bro, if you go to jail for using low orbit ion cannon, like it's already over for you. Imagine going to jail. Like the most you'll get is a slap in the face. Like I don't know. I would personally find that impressive. I'd find that very impressive.
My laser, go. And it's flooding, it's going, it's blah. Like, look at this. Look at all the traffic I'm sending right now. And notice over here, we are affecting the server. It's gone from sub-millisecond response time to, now we got almost 2 milliseconds. 2, 3, look at that. Now, I know for some of you that's like, well, Chuck, that was kind of underwhelming. Why isn't it taking down the server? Why isn't the cannon just blasting away? I'll talk about that here in a second, but just know that when we're DOSing something or denial of servicing something, we basically have two goals. We want to overwhelm or confuse or both. We want to overwhelm that server with a bunch of stuff. That's what we're doing here. We're sending a bunch of internet traffic to just confuse the heck out of that server and overwhelm him. But we still couldn't take it down. Why? Let me show you. Denial of service started out with just pinging a server, just like this. And by the way, this is harmless. This is what actually we use to see if servers are up. We say, hey, are you up? And they respond, yes, we are. And that's beautiful. We use that all the time. But hackers want to take a good thing and make it a bad thing. So they think, okay, what if I'm not sending a ping every second? What if I increase that frequency? Maybe if I send a bunch of stuff really fast, I can...
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even if you do that, even if you send like a load of pings to a server, it's not going to overwhelm it because you're just sending it from one computer. So
overwhelm that
yeah,
server. So something like this. I can use a popular hacking tool called hping3, which you can install on most Linux
yeah. I highly doubt hping3 is going to take down a server.
distributions. Just apt install hping3. But here we go. The switch I'll use is -1 for a ping ICMP protocol. I'll do a -- flood, which basically means we're going to send as many pings as we possibly can as fast as we can. We're just going to overload the server.
Maybe if you were to wrap it in like some other library, it might work. And if you were to spread that across multiple servers, could do.
Server. And then my target, 10.7.1.50. And let's go. So now it's sending a ton of traffic right now. And but what we'll notice too is that if I look back at my ping on my server, the time really hasn't changed much. Honestly, it really hasn't changed at all. But why? Well, the simple answer is that it's just not enough traffic to overwhelm my server. He's got plenty of bandwidth and he can handle all those ping requests. So something like that, an attack like that, really isn't effective now. But what if we did this? What if instead of one computer I'm using to attack it, what if I use another? What if I start sending pings from there? And from here? And from here? What if I keep adding them?
Yeah, that's where you're right. It would only work if you had multiple servers doing that. And that's the biggest challenge in trying to do DDoS attacks.
Let's try that. Let's see if it affects it. I'm gonna do it from one server, another server, another server, and that should be enough. Let's see if anything happened. Okay, we're actually seeing something happen now. This is significant. Watch this. We've gone from sub-millisecond to, at times, 19 milliseconds, which is huge on a local LAN. So now we have all this traffic going to the server. He's handling all these pings, which is stressful for him, and we're using up the bandwidth. This is what we call a distributed denial of service attack, or a DDoS attack, because we're using multiple computers to attack.
Yeah, okay, this is accurate. But the LOIC one he was doing, that was not accurate at all.
Attack our target, because you know what? One
Like as in that isn't a DDoS attack.
computer, one NIC, one processor and memory isn't quite enough to attack and just confuse and overwhelm a server. We need multiple. Now again, this is not hard to do. You get a few servers spun up, you run hping3, and you can overwhelm a device. Now this attack is called a ping flood or a ICMP flood. And again, it just takes advantage of a protocol and a tool that we all use, all IT people use to make sure things are up, but we use it to take it down, which is kind of cool. Now the problem with this attack is that it's pretty easy to defeat. All you gotta do is turn off ICMP on your server, turn off ping, turn it off to where your server does not respond to pings, and you can't attack him anymore, it's done. How lame. So attacks like an ICMP flood, there's even an attack called a ping of death, which sounds awesome, but it doesn't work anymore. The ping of death was cool because you could send a super, just heavy, large packet to your victim, so large they couldn't handle it, and it would cause them just to feel overwhelmed, buffer overflows. Doesn't work anymore. So if these don't work anymore, then what do we do now? Well, we get smarter. We make our attacks more complex. We find something else. And that's what happened. Let me shut all my attacks down. And this is exactly why I want to show you
I like that scratchpad he's using. I probably need to take that. And I need to copy his whole setup. His setup is really cool.
these DDoS scripts I downloaded from the dark web. They have become more complex and they are insane and crazy, but we're going to build up to that, so let's keep going. So getting back into the mind of a hacker, hackers, they just try to find ways to make good things into bad things. One of those things is the TCP protocol, which is how we connect to our websites. When I want to access a website on the server, I connect to TCP port 80 or 443, and to establish that connection, we have a thing called the three-way handshake.
Yeah, that's kind of true, but calling it TCP when you connect to port 80 is kind of inaccurate. I mean, HTTP does use TCP, but that's not the only thing that's getting involved here. So it would be more accurate to just call it HTTP and then TCP.
This happens every single time, so basically, you know, let's say me, over here with my beard and my coffee. When I connect to that website, I'm going to do a three-way handshake. It looks like this. I send a SYN request. The server will then respond back with a SYN ACK request, and then I respond back with an ACK. And then my connection is established, and we can communicate. But see, hackers saw this and they go, hey, we can screw this up a little bit. Let's do that. This attack is called a SYN flood attack. We're going to take advantage of the three-way handshake. We're basically going, hey, nice to meet you. Oh, and we're doing that like 50,000 times. So now I'm going from just a regular person to a hacker, and what I'm going to do now is send that SYN request to open a connection, but then just not reply back. But what I'm going to keep doing is sending a ton more SYN requests. I'm going to keep sending them like crazy. Sending them. The goal here is, that, again, to overwhelm the server with so many connection requests that he can't handle it. Because, you know, a server can only handle a certain amount of connections before he's like...
Yeah, you see, this is the thing that's good about, or could be a good or bad thing, is he explains stuff like in a very fun way. Like as in, you know, he's got the scratch pad, he's doing it, and he's got his like bubbly kind of personality. And all of that's good. You can see it worked out quite well for him. He's got like almost 5 million subs. But the issue with that is like this kind of content is good for like if you have 0 to 3 months experience in IT, it's probably good. But like kind of simplifying everything down to this, it does have its negatives as well. And the negative is like you're not able to capture as much detail as you probably should be doing. But no, his content is fun to consume.
So let's do that. We'll use our same tool as before, hping3. It's a powerful tool. Now before I'd use the switch -1 to make it an ICMP ping, I'm not going to do that now. It defaults using TCP, which is what we want to use. Three-way handshake, man. I'm going to attack port 80 because this is a web server we're attacking, and then I'll use the switch -uppercase S. This is for our SYN attack. I'm going to do --flood just to kill this server, and of course, my target, 10.7.1.50. Oh, let's add one more thing here. I'm going to make it a bit bigger too. Let's add some data to that packet. So I'll do -D. Let's add 200 bytes. Ready, set, go. Now, as before, we're not seeing a big hit on the server because it's just me, and it's hard for one person, one computer, one attacker to overwhelm a server. So let's bring in our friends. Let's take this from a simple DOS attack to a DDoS attack. 1 server, 2 server, 3 server, and that should be enough. Let's take a look now. Okay, he's feeling the pain. Look at that. See, now we're packing a punch, aren't we? We are overwhelming the server. 40 milliseconds of latency. Let's see if the website's even up. He's having a hard time. Not even loading at all. Let me try my iPad here. Yeah, not loading on my iPad at all. I mean, look at this. It's crazy.
Yeah, the main thing or the main problem is like the scalability of this attack. It's very hard to do when you just have like your local computer. So thinking that you're going to be able to do like SYN flood attacks or anything like that without having like a botnet pretty much, it's kind of ridiculous.
He finally loaded. So he's definitely struggling. So he has he's dying. So again, this is where our attacks become more sophisticated. We're using a SYN flood attack to kind of exploit the TCP protocol the way it's supposed to work, but we make it bad. Doing a lot of handshakes. New dance move for hackers. Now this works great, but it's not perfect. And let me tell you why. Most servers on the internet are going to have some type of security to protect them, right? And that often comes in the form of a firewall. That's my firewall in case you can't tell what that is. And when we're sending attacks like this, that firewall, he catches on. So let's say we just start sending a ton of SYN flood attacks from a bunch of different machines. It won't take long for that firewall to go, oh, I'm being attacked. I'm going to shut those down right now. Just block the IPs. And it can do that quickly, resolve it really fast, and in a lot of cases, these attacks don't even matter. Like, it's like swatting a fly for a firewall. It's like, oh, leave me alone. Now here's where the scripts I bought on the dark web come into play. They go far beyond just simple SYN flood attacks, or pings or anything. They're pretty sophisticated. Let's check them out. So here we are looking back at Sapphira, which honestly is a pretty nasty DDoS attack. And here's why. Remember how I said the firewall can detect when an attack is happening and just shut them down, making it harder for attack.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, what do you call it? This is still a DOS attack, considering if you run it on one machine. Like I'm not sure if Sapphire is meant for, like as in does it scale across? Can you involve other computers in it? I don't know if it's just one Python script. Probably doubt it is, but maybe could be wrong. Also, I love the header here. The protocol is the most massive type of attack. Can Tango down NASA and more government websites? Oh God.
Shut them
yeah, well, one thing for sure is you're definitely not taking down NASA with this.
down, making it harder for attackers to attack. This is where scripts like this come in. So
I mean, like, if it could be attacked by NASA, then it would.
the attacker, once again me, with my beard and coffee, when I run the Sapphira script, it's going to attack the HTTP protocol specifically. This is actually an attack called an HTTP flood attack. And what it will do is it will send a ton of HTTP GET requests, which are normal things that happen all the time. When you go to connect to a website, you want to access the home page, you're sending a GET request saying, get me that home page, and the web server sends it back to you. So it's a legitimate thing. And again, remember, hackers take advantage of legitimate things but make them bad. So what we do with Sapphira is we send not one GET request, but a ton of GET requests, as we do when we do.
Yeah, again, that's not a DDoS attack because it's coming from the same computer. That would be a DOS attack in that case.
Do a DOS attacks. But you see, these aren't just normal GET requests, because if we just sent them as regular GET requests and they were all the same, well, that firewall would catch on real quick, wouldn't they? They would see, oh, these IPs are sending these GET requests and they all look really similar. I'm going to shut them down. But see, that's where a script like this comes in, and here's what it does. I'll scroll through it here real quick. It pulls all these headers. Like, as I'm scrolling through here, these are all different headers it'll use to construct unique GET requests, changing the user agents, pretty much everything about the request to make it look unique. This script alone can compile 1 million unique GET requests and just bam, 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 attack.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still coming from like the same IP address, so it'd be easy to just block it if it's causing problems. Which like more modern servers, or like servers that are big, like an Amazon server, they would probably be it would be very easy to detect these kind of attacks.
Oh, I was moving around a lot. And when I get to the end, you can kind of see the guts of the Python script, of how it actually takes that information and constructs all these GET requests and attacks. And again, the goal of this script is to overwhelm and confuse the server. Now, this guy's bad enough just from one computer, but imagine you have it distributed amongst a bunch of computers. Like, let me try it right now. I'll show you how to run the script. And honestly, I told you I got this off the dark web, and I did. I paid Bitcoin with that sucker.
Oh, why would you I'm sorry, bro, but you got scammed to hell. You paid Bitcoin for a script like this. Oh my god.
But then I later found out you can just download these for free on GitHub. So
Yes, you could have done that from the start. But I'm not sure if you actually bought them with Bitcoin. I mean, I'm gonna assume you're honest, but like, I don't know. I guess it probably sounds more cool and hackerish if you said you bought it with Bitcoin. I don't know. I'm just like, it just sounds kind of sus.
yeah, and this is not the only one though. There's a ton of them. Like, you want to see? Check this out. If I jump into my anonymous folder here, look at all these different scripts I have. You may be familiar with a few of these, but man, they're cool. And the fun part is we get to not only test them out, but we can go into the scripts and look at how the Python was constructed. How do they do this? And we can learn ourselves. Now running them is really simple. I just do Python, specify the script I'm going to run. So this will be Sapphira.py, and then my web server URL. So http:// and then just put the IP in 10.7.1.50, and it's going to do it. Done. It's starting the attack. Like, that's that easy. Like, weird how easy that is, right? Now I am doing a DDoS. Done. It's starting the 10.7.1.50, and it's gonna do it. Done. It's starting the attack. Like, that's that easy. Like, weird how easy that is, right? Now I am doing a DDoS attack right now. I have this tool running on all of my servers, and what I'm noticing, it doesn't have.
Okay, but you did like, did you go into like I don't know. It is a DDoS attack if you run it on multiple servers, but like if you're I don't know if you're to do this like big scale, like large scale, it'd be very hard to just start up every machine. Like it would be better to have like a command and control center where you just send, um, or you just tell like all of the machines what to do to like start attacking or to stop attacking. And I don't think Sapphire does that. It might. I don't know. I haven't looked at the source code, but like so far it just looks like a DOS attack, but it's marketed as a DDoS attack because yeah, like created by anonymous. Like it seems like a very skid tool. I don't know.
I don't see a lot of impact, and I'm thinking a tool like this is meant to be more hidden and more distributed, or I'm just using it wrong. But I did do some Wireshark captures, and I saw the traffic going across, just not as quick. So I don't know what's wrong. It's probably me. So I'll put the link below. You can go in and try these attacks yourself. Pretty much any device that can have Python can run these scripts, and that's kind of
Yeah, well, one thing about DDoS attacks is like it would be much handier to use a command and control center. That's something that you would have to develop yourself. But yeah.
crazy. So now, if attacks like this need a bunch of servers, a bunch of computers to attack, how do hackers do that? Is it just getting the community up and downloading and running these scripts? Sometimes. The majority of the time, though, the attackers don't know they're attacking people. They're unaware. They might be your grandma, your mom, your friend, your boss. Their computer is attacking someone maybe right now, and they don't even know. That's called a botnet. See, what attackers can do is they can actually send a phishing email or maybe have a fake website, and people will download this malware and run it. And they don't know what it is, and it might even stay hidden for a long time, but it actually is malware that, when called upon, can run an attack like this on a server. And that's a botnet. It's an army of basically zombie computers that have no idea what they're doing, but when called upon, they rise and they attack. And this is how some of the most impressive and devastating DDoS attacks have happened. So it got me to thinking, how do they build these botnets? How do they do this? And going down that rabbit hole, I actually built one myself. Now, I didn't like program or anything. I found a framework called Build Your Own Botnet, or BYOB, and it's kind of simple to set up. A little scary how simple it is. Check this out. And honestly, it has this beautiful GUI built into it. It's awesome. And yeah, check this out. I'll go to my control panel, and if I scroll down here, I have my bots. This is my command and control server, and this is how I can call upon my bots to.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need is a command and control center. But I'm not sure how trustworthy these it would be preferable if you set this up yourself. Like cause like these open source things, like I'm not sure if it, well, let me actually have a small look. It's called BOP. My Wi-Fi's hella slow. BYOB. Like again, this is only for educational purposes. Like I don't know um, if it does unexpected things or like yeah. Escalate. I don't know. Like there's yeah, you don't know if it's like fully up to date either, because all of this stuff was made like or like the last update to it was like last year, and there's always kind of stuff to do. But yeah.
Do something. It's a common thing. So setting these things up is not that hard. This is one of the cooler frameworks I found because it's open source and it's meant for education, and you should be used for education, but there's really nothing stopping you from using it for nefarious things. So don't
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't use this as like a proper CNC thing.
do that, but it's still neat.
Maybe if you're just like learning for sure, but like you probably want to build your own stuff.
But here I have my 3 bots, and these could just be victims that I tricked into downloading some software. Now, these are my servers. I didn't trick anybody, but I can do whatever I want here. Like, if I wanted to get a shell access to these guys, I can. And just click on one of their shells here, and I've got a TCP reverse shell. I'm in the server, which is crazy, right? Now, how do I make these bots become bots? That's the scary part. It's not that hard. If I go to my payloads, this is where I can generate a file that they can just have run on their computer, and they become a slave, a zombie to my command and control center. It's honestly just a Python script. I go in here and say, yeah, I want a Python script, and it generates one for me. If I run that Python script on a computer, on a Linux server, it will just become my zombie. Maybe you want to do Windows servers or Windows machines. You can do that.
Yeah, you see the problem with this thing is like it's very easy to detect Python since it's such a high level language. Um, and furthermore, if you were to deliver this in like a ransomware, or no, not ransomware, but if you were to phish someone and get them to download, um, what's he called, like this Python script, I don't know. I highly doubt it would come out undetectable. Even if it was obfuscated, the antiviruses would probably be like it would be easy to know what it is. So whenever you're coding malware, um, in order to download it, like you need to be using low level languages like assembly or C, maybe even C++, but usually assembly or C, because you want like in order to like obfuscate the code in memory and everything like that, like you need low level access. So I'm not sure if using Python is good, and I'm not sure how good the obfuscation is on Python either. So yeah, because real malware uses like other um, like various different libraries to hide itself in, and with Python you're using the native Python ones, which are probably easier to detect as well.
That too. Operating system, Windows, and just generate one. It's an exe, an executable, and it just takes control. It's crazy. Now, what can you do with that? Well, whatever you stinking want. If I go back to my control panel here, I have a bunch of built-in post-exploitation modules, which means things I want to do to these servers after I have control. And if I select, look at this. I've got a miner, a cryptocurrency miner I could run on all my zombies by default.
Yeah, a miner would be very easy to detect, especially if it's in Python um, on Windows, because like your CPU usage would go up by like 80% or whatever, or maybe if you set like little like instructions to not exceed a certain CPU limit, then maybe, but they're usually much easier to detect. Um, I think the Pirate Bay did this where they like instead of installing like a remote tool on your desktop or anything, uh, they would just use the JavaScript in your browser to mine cryptocurrency, and they what to call it. So like when you would go on the website, like all of a sudden, you hear the fans on your computer like whizzing past, but that's because of like the JavaScript that they use. Um, like they're basically using your browser to mine Bitcoin or Monero or whatever, and then to send that over to like their wallets. So it's a pretty funny method of doing it.
It mines Monero. You can make some money. Keylogger, you can escalate privileges, packet sniffer, webcam, iCloud, and those are just built in. You can build your own. You can run all the attacks I downloaded from the dark web here. That's scary, right? Like, that's crazy. I always wondered how hackers did this. Apparently, it's kind of an easy framework, and yeah, you still have to go through the process of writing malware. I can get past firewalls and antivirus, but still, the frameworks are pretty easy to set up. Now, if you want to do this yourself, if you want to set up your own botnet and control some servers and do some cool stuff, I got a link below with the walkthrough. You can try it out. It's neat. Like, it's really neat. So DOS attacks and DDoS attacks are some of the worst things we have to combat in IT. So as a person like yourself, maybe learn to become a hacker, an ethical hacker obviously, your job is to help companies be prepared for these situations. Now, I think rarely you're actually going to perform your own DDoS attack or DOS attack on a client, but you still need to come prepared to understand how those attacks work, because they may call upon you to help them prepare or maybe recover from an attack like that. So what can you do? Well, the biggest thing is to make sure your network is secure. Get a firewall in there, make sure that firewall's up to date, and you've got best practice there. Also, man, patch all your stuff, your servers, any application you have, patch it with all the latest OS releases. Hackers are fast, but you know what? The good guys catch up just as fast too, hopefully. And then lastly, really, no network is safe from a DDoS attack. If Anonymous or whoever it is can get enough people attacking one server or one firewall, one network, they can probably take it down. They've taken down some of the largest networks with...
Yeah, Anonymous. How old? Wait, how old is this video? It's like 2020. Yeah, Anonymous is very old. What was 2015 the peak of it? I don't know, or 2010. But yeah, they've gone AWOL since.
Some of the best security. The best way to mitigate that is just make sure you're as redundant as possible, that you have multiple servers, multiple firewalls. Doing those best practice things will help keep you safe. Not foolproof, but safe. And the good news is, with people moving to the cloud and relying on cloud-based services, there's a lot of protection out there for DDoS. So if you have your stuff on Amazon, AWS, or Azure, or you use a service like Cloudflare that sits in front of your website, you're much less prone to DDoS attacks. Not immune, but you're safer. Now, speaking of attacks, if you want to practice, and you want to practice not in your own house, but you want to practice on a live website, I'd like you to do that. I'm giving you a website to attack, and I want to see if you can bring that down. Now, I'm only giving you permission to attack my website, this specific URL, and that's it. So don't go attacking anyone else. But the URL is ddos.networkchuck.com. If you can bring that site down, that'd be really cool. So try to access it now, see if it works.
Let's check. Yeah, there it is. Oh, damn. I guess I DOS'd it instead of DDoSing it. But yeah.
And if it does work, do some attacks on it. I give you permission. Well, anyways, guys, that's about it. And of course, don't forget to like this video if you like it, subscribe if you like what I'm doing here. And yeah, that's all I got. I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah. Again, like his videos, like it's good if you're like 1 to 3 months in and you're kind of like getting a high level overview. But one thing I will say is that he exaggerates like a lot of his claims. Like you're not going to be DDoSing anyone with this. Like it would take a lot, like you would need a lot of servers or botnets to perform this. Like I think the last big one was the Mirai botnet, and you could just like basically pay Bitcoin for them to do an attack for you.
Laser go.
But yeah, I think that's the DDoS for hire stuff is pretty common. Could be wrong, but yeah, it's generally pretty hard to make a botnet from scratch because there's so much stuff you have to do in it. But Yeah, no. Overall, his content is good for an introductory experience. Just if you spent 3 months learning this, I would say probably stay away. But yeah, that's all I have for this one. Bye.